evening, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube followers. Welcome to another edition of You Gonna Need a Lot More Wine. Cheers, ladies. Cheers. I'm gonna need y'all to take a drink this time for real.
I'm gonna need another refill.
I tell you what. I'm so exhausted. If I drink too many of those, y'all gonna have to wake me up when this show is over, right?
That's right.
All right, so before we get started, we'd like to just discuss a couple of disclaimers. The first one is
that that's an airplane going over our head.
You know what, we try not to make a thing, but just something happens every single time. Again, before we get started, just a couple of disclaimers. The first one is, the reason why we have our topics each week is, first of all, we want to bring awareness to our topics, but not only do we want to bring awareness, we also want to educate, to empower, to enlighten, and also engage all of our listeners in conversations that are not always easy topics to discuss. And lastly, whichever item you decide to partake in this evening, Charlita, whether it be wine or whatever it is,
I don't drink that much.
Please drink responsibly and don't drink and drive. All right, let's get it, ladies. Happy ML King Day.
Happy ML King Day. Happy Martin Luther King Day.
I'd like to say something a little about Martin Luther King. One of his sayings that I like. He's saying, if all of us brothers and sisters don't come together as one, we will all fail as a nation as fools.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd like to say something that he said that a lot of people don't like to mention. He said, I think I integrated my people into a burning house. I'm going to leave that for y'all to discern on your own.
To
meditate what he meant about that.
Keep that dream moving. All right.
But then today's topic is about, Breezy,
when obsession leads to depression.
Leads to
depression.
Depression. Yes.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit, ladies? Shalita?
Oh, you want me to say? I thought we started from that.
Don't start on that.
I always start, but okay, anyway. Well, obsession to depression could be a myriad of things, right? And one thing that I'd like to discuss is when you obsess so much over something and you try to go for it, and you may continue to fail after obsessing behind it, it leads to depression.
Right.
And you know what happens when you tend to continue to be depressed. I don't even want to go there, right? So what you need to do is bring yourself back from that depression. One thing that I was discussing with my son earlier today about an obsession, and it could be obsession for success, right? If you are so obsessed with success and you're like perhaps looking at the things that you're doing and striving, and you may not achieve those things, even though you're making some successes, you're not noticing, or you're looking at the long-term success and you're not noticing the small-term successes.
Right.
And so my suggestion when I was talking to him was make small, obtainable goals, right, that you can see yourself accomplishing. Check that off. Now you have your next goal. Instead of that big goal all the way down there and you're missing the small ones because you're trying to go there, you're missing your achievements along the way. And when you're obsessed with that long-term goal, you can become depressed so much that you're missing your short-term goals, and then you fail. Right. Because you're thinking that you are failing because you haven't reached that long-term goal yet. That's why you need to make small-term goals and check them off along the way, so that way you see that you are truly succeeding.
All right. That was great. I like that too.
So
that was good. What you got, Miss Zelda?
Well, I know a lot of kids. I'm a teacher part-time also, and I know a lot of students with social media. They see all this social media and they're trying to look like the person on social media. They're trying to, maybe look smaller, look, just with makeup, and instead of being just satisfied within themselves.
Right.
And I really think that there's a lot of suicide with students and kids just looking at all this social media and seeing these things that are really not true. All social media, some things are not even true, and they're just trying to live up to those standards and thinking that those standards are what they need to be in life.
Yeah, because like in Britain, I was just reading like a couple of weeks ago, this very, very pretty 19-year-old lady, young girl, she killed herself.
Wow.
She killed herself. So basically she had just posted, or her family said she was all excited because she brought this brand new underwear from Victoria's Secret and was, wanted to model it on social media. She just loved being on social media. And she didn't get enough likes in her little undies.
Oh yes.
And
that is
before
true.
before she was done, like 5-10 minutes after she posted it, I mean, what if people were at work or in class taking a test or something didn't get a chance to give her likes or anything like that?
Yes.
Like 10 minutes after she posted, she killed herself because she didn't have enough likes.
Wow.
Is that what we've come to be today?
Seems like it,
That's
especially
crazy.
again, like she said, with all the social media stuff that we have going on today.
Yeah.
What about you, Ms. Dawson?
Well, I just feel
What
like
happened? How you skip your own self and go straight to the
It seems like you don't skip me
You
today
like,
because
let's go
last
back.
week I
I
had
got you.
so much of the camera, so I'm going to allow Ms. Dawson to go this time.
Okay, so I do feel like social media may be the enemy here, but when you're not grounded and when you don't know who you are, first of all, you have to know who you are. Social media should not be defining who you are. And what social media has done was just put a lens on everyone else's life, which minimizes yours, but it's really not minimized because everyone has a great life. But when you don't understand who you are, who God says that you are, you're looking for other people to tell you who you are. And social media should not be defining who we are. So,
Right. Hey, you know what? I think we need to take a drink to that. How about that?
Yes.
All right. That's a great
Know who you are.
And have a drink too. Don't
Yes,
don't
okay.
just tell
And
me.
then I got a statement to make right after that.
All right. Well, go ahead on.
I wanted to say that we're coming to you live today from Tom, Dick, and Hank's. It is another black-owned restaurant. It's like a restaurant sports bar over here by the airport.
Good collard greens.
And they have another location by Braves Stadium.
Yes.
And so we're coming to you live from there, and that's why you hear like noise in the background because there's people eating and doing their thing, and we're invading on their space.
Right.
No, we got invited to come here to do our little live show. So I just want to give Tom, Dick, and Hanks a shout out today for
All right.
having us
Thank
here
you
at
so
their
much,
spot.
Tom, Dick, and Hanks, for letting us shoot live here today. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we really would like to hear from some of our listeners today. We're going to ask you the same question that we've been talking about here, and that
We
is,
got some comments over there.
do you have a situation where you were obsessed with something and later on you became addicted, or you became, what were we talking about here?
Depression.
Depression. It took me so long for us to get to me. I know
See?
exactly what the topic is
Exactly.
already.
Talking about the topic.
I can say for me personally, I've been obsessed with just being a single mother
Right.
and providing for my girls, just working so hard, and sometimes it gets a little depressed, but God makes me make it through.
Right. Yeah.
So, I know there's a lot of single mothers out there. Don't give up. Keep working hard, and you will prevail.
And I think my obsession, while Breezy's breaking stuff over in the corner, my obsession has always been with work and with success. And it's not particularly because I want to say, oh, I'm hugely successful. No, it's because I'm trying to build a legacy.
Yeah.
And this isn't for me, it's for my children and my children's children and my children's children's children
Okay.
down the line, right? And so I was listening to a T.I. song earlier today, and he basically was saying, it feels like I'm doing this by myself, and I'm asking God for help, because he feels like he's all alone in his struggle and his fight to do whatever it was that he was doing. And I totally agree, right? And so that's why I take what I do so extremely serious, is because I feel like I'm doing it completely alone. And in order for me to be successful, I have to keep on striving, and I push a lot of stuff to the sidelines because the goals I'm trying to reach are pretty lofty, right? And so if I'm just chilling, or when people start talking about, oh, did you catch the latest whatever on Netflix? I ain't turned on Netflix in months, seriously, or any of that stuff, months, right? And that can lead to, I'm not going to say depression, but it is definitely an obsession that I need to rein in sometimes.
All right, so go ahead, Breezy.
I had a question for Shanita. So how did you know to tell your son to make sure that he enjoys the little small successes? How did you learn that?
I learned it by fire, right? And so, like, when you're trying to reach specific goals, you miss the smaller goals that you are actually achieving. And so, in looking, it looks like we got a caller coming in, but in looking at that, when I write down my goals, and I may not reach the big one, I do notice the ones that I have checked off along the way, at the end of the year.
I think that was good advice, because some people get a spirit of discontentment going on. You're never content. When I think about Meghan and Harry, we would love to be a princess,
Right.
but they're like, get me out of here. So you have to learn how to enjoy the skin you're in and not be deceived by what you think is greater on the other side.
That's a great point. Yeah. All right, so we do have a caller. How you doing today? Welcome to You're Gonna Need a Lot More Wine. She's on speaker. All right.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Erica, and I'm calling in from Indiana.
Okay.
All right, Indiana, woo, where it's
And in the
cold.
house. It's cold here.
Okay. So our topic for this evening is: have you had a situation, or do you know of a family member or friend who has had an obsession that later on caused depression in that person's life? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I'm going to speak of a former client, as I have a master's in psychology. So I'm going to speak on a former client with regards to obsession that ultimately led to her depression and then suicide.
Wow. Okay. All right. We're sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys have exactly covered already, but as we all know, obsession is when we just can't stop thinking of something, and it takes over our daily activities. And so when that happens, it leads to everything else. I think somebody just mentioned everything else that you do have. You're not thinking about that. You're just thinking about the things that you don't have or the things that you can't get. And this client was obsessed with the way she looked. She couldn't stop thinking about it, and that comes from magazines and televisions and everything that portrays people to be people to look a certain way.
Right. We were just talking about that, right? About the social media part. Yes.
Yeah, so when that happens, you're not thinking about what you do have and how healthy you really are. And so she became obsessed with it, and she eventually just couldn't get out of bed every day. And she was sad all the time.
Wow.
And she did nothing but lay down and watch TV all day and do nothing but compulse over those thoughts by trying to get rid of them by looking at them all day. Or this was over 15 years ago. So newspapers would come to her house, and she would scroll through them and try to find articles that talked about how beautiful people were. So her depression became so bad that she couldn't even leave the house.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
As we all know, that takes a huge toll on everybody around you, obviously, on top of it, on top of yourself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Great.
Just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much for calling in.
So
All right,
what she
thank you for
said,
your
I'm not
call.
sure if everybody heard, was that she's a therapist, and she was talking about a client that she had that was extremely obsessed with her looks, and so obsessed that it led to depression and eventually led to suicide.
Yeah.
So
You know, we think of depression in so many different ways, and a lot of times we may be depressed and not even know that. Because a lot of times, we sleep a lot, sometimes we eat a lot, and those are signs of depression for a lot of people. And we really don't even consider that to be depression, but
Cry a lot, some people.
exactly, yes,
Yeah.
crying, eating a lot, sleeping a lot.
Drinking a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
popping pills.
Yeah, all of those things right there are signs of depression, and these are some of the things that we really need to pay attention to. And as African Americans, we don't feel like we need to get help a lot of times, but we really do need to go get counseling or treatment or anything like that to kind of curb those different situations.
And like Greasy said, a couple of times, some folks don't even know that they have that problem or that they have a problem at all.
Right.
Right? It seems like maybe everybody around them know they have a problem, but they may not.
They don't recognize it.
They don't recognize it, and they definitely aren't going to admit it.
Right.
So,
I guess, what about different influences that cause depression? It could be you lost someone could be spiritual attacks,
Okay.
chemical imbalance, not eating the right foods.
oh yes.
There are a lot of things that can contribute to your brain not operating the way that it needs to operate.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm freezing in here. Y'all see me blowing in my
So,
back.
I want to
25 degrees in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cold. So I want to kind of tackle it from another angle here. I wanted to talk about our celebrities and our athletes. We as Americans and as human beings, we tend to put these people up on a pedestal, and a lot of us tend to want to live the lives of these celebrities and these athletes. So what we do a lot of times is we get obsessed with these people.
Yeah.
You know, we want to live their lifestyle. We want to be in their presence and different things like that. Just to kind of talk about, you know, the R. Kelly situation. A lot of the young girls were probably so obsessed with R. Kelly as a singer,
Yes,
and they
right.
wanted to be in that position. And now, just look at everything that's going on now with these young girls. A lot of them
They just want to
are,
be there
yeah,
by any means necessary.
exactly. A lot of them are depressed now because they put themselves in that situation to where they were so obsessed with the celebrity status, and now look where they are now. So it's
And-
really a sad situation.
And back to the, you know, celebrities and athletes, a lot of these girls, you know, they marry these athletes.
Right.
And I can talk by experience. I didn't marry them, I chose not to.
Right.
But, you know, they marry them and then they're depressed through the whole wedding. I mean, you know, the whole life of the marriage because the guys are messing around with other women. You know, not all of them, but I can say most,
Right, right.
you know, so.
But that's the lifestyle that they chose. Well, that's definitely something that they thought that they wanted to be a part of. But in reality, it's not as glamorous as they thought it was going to be, right?
And a point, I want to make a point about the R. Kelly situation that you mentioned. I remember an interview with Will Smith a while ago when he had got divorced from his first wife. And he was talking about how he would be in a certain town or whatever and stand at a hotel. He's like, parents would be bringing their daughters down there, like, you should meet my daughter, you should meet my daughter, you should meet my daughter. And the child, you know, the child is underage, and the parent is so desperate for them to marry somebody rich or to be in that lifestyle that they're just like shoving their young daughter. I mean, I'm pretty sure it happened to R. Kelly as well.
Let me tell you what Chris Rock said. He said the biggest pimp is your mama, right? Because your mama's always saying, you know, marry a guy who's got a whole lot of money, you know, marry somebody who's got a big house and all that stuff, right? So that was something that always stuck with me.
Yes.
Your mama is the biggest pimp.
Yeah, because I guess it depends on what mother you have, because mine always told me to have your own. That way you could choose who you want to marry.
Yeah.
Right?
We're going to read some of the comments from some of our viewers. You got some of that over there?
I got you. I got
There
you.
you go.
I got you this time.
Can you see those?
The glass is passed.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Hi, Nick Cave. Nick Cave is watching. Miss Barbara, how you doing, Miss Barbara?
what did she say?
Okay, Barbara says, good word about the business, small steps. Good to pay attention to the small steps, so that was really good, Shalita. Hey, Miss Shayna Kennedy. Shayna Kennedy Marshall is watching. Hey, Miss Shayna. All right, let's see, any comments here? Miss Barbara again, she says, I like writing down small achieved goals and also write down big goals. All right, that's very good.
Yeah. Have the big goal at the end and your small steps trying to achieve it. Because if you don't make it, you know, this year, you might be halfway there and you'll accomplish it next year.
Okay.
Well, but how are you going to know if you don't have
You're not
like, your
measuring.
steps in, if you're not measuring and have your steps in place?
Good.
One thing I like what Denzel Washington said, and I base my life on that because I pretty much do what I want to do when I want to do it. He, Denzel Washington said that people always told him to have a second plan, have something to fall back on.
Right.
I'm not gonna have he said he don't have a second plan, don't have nothing to fall back on because he's gonna get what he's going for, and that's how I am. I'm
Well,
gonna get what I'm going for. I ain't gonna have nothing to fall back on.
I think
because
we need to have
I'm
a
going
drink for
straight
that.
to
How about that? So, cheers to that. We don't need a second plan.
No, because the first plan gonna work because we're gonna keep it moving.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So,
I want to ask Breezy because to me, she is God in my eyes of
Oh,
success.
that's so wonderful.
She is the bomb, and you know, anytime you talk to her about her success, she's like this.
it's okay to be modest and humble.
Because
That's
she
good.
works so hard. And I want to know, because I've heard her speak on numerous occasions, and she is extremely humble, and she does not seem to me, recognize her own success, right? And so I want to know, my dear friend, how do you measure how do you tell yourself at the end of the day, okay, I did okay?
Yeah.
Or do you come home and it's like, oh my
And how
God.
do you not get
Get back on it tomorrow.
depressed about things?
So that's why
on the
I-
subject that we're on.
Yeah. That's why I asked Shalita, how did she know to tell her son about the small successes along the way? Because I don't do that. It's like, okay, you did this big thing yesterday, but to me, yesterday is yesterday.
Right.
And then I'm on to the next big thing. So there can be a spirit of discontentment within me too. So that's why I have to, last time you all asked me about what the success looked like, remember that call?
Yeah.
I couldn't answer that.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about.
Trying to figure that out because to me, I haven't arrived yet. And I'm always striving, but maybe that's a gift in the reverse because I don't get comfortable. Because if I get comfortable,
That's right.
no, because it's always changing. It's like, who moved my cheese? So I'm already on to the next big thing, and that's just how I'm wired, I guess. But I guess I do need to figure out, you're successful here today, keep going, but in my mind, I'm like, no, I gotta go get this now. That's just how
I understand.
and that's not because I'm looking at what someone else have, it's just, it's a drive that's
It's your goal.
That's in here, yeah, absolutely.
But you don't measure your smaller successes along the way. We're gonna work together. You and me, we're gonna work on your smaller successes. Hey Keith, how's it going? Oh, video is looking great today. Yay! We got here really early to put it together. Too bad I'm on a call and can't join you. Enjoy. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Another reason why our video is looking great, we have a gentleman here that we are supporting. He's also an African American. His name is Khalil. Thank you so much, Khalil.
Our professional photographer. What's the name of the company?
Khalil One Production.
Leo One Production.
Leo One.
Lil One Production.
Leo
Lil
One
One
Production.
Production.
Okay.
One Production.
Again, we are supporting our African Americans, so we invite you to do the same thing as well.
Please.
And we're gonna post your information on our site, so if people want to get video services,
Or at the
you'll be there
video.
too. So if you all want us to come to your spot, we'll come and promote you, and you make sure you promote us back.
Yes,
That's what we're
right.
trying to do, keep it going.
Yeah. So
So what we also like to do after discussing these topics is we want to kind of come up with some solutions to some of these issues. So does anybody want to talk about some solutions to some of these obsessions to depression things that we have going on?
Well, I think some of the solutions that I know, I have friends that have organizations where they talk to young adults, they go to the schools and talk to them, just lifting them up. A lot of these kids, when I used to teach, a lot of these kids, their parents never told them they're doing a great job. Parents sometimes never tell them that they're beautiful, they're smart. So, I think just encouraging, the young people around that just encourage them. I think a lot of encouragement helps,
I think one good thing that I do, I notice like if you go out to dinner and you look around, you'll see like people that's sitting together and they're all on the phone. Nobody's interacting with one another.
Yes.
And one thing that I do is like if I'm out with my son and daughter and they're young, so social media is God to them, right? And so I have everybody put their phones down, face down.
Right.
And the first person that turns their phone up
They
is the
may-
one that gotta pay the bill.
Oh, well, you know they getting the phone.
And boy, we have really good stimulating conversation from that point forward. You know, we know each other
Oh,
all.
I'll have to try that one right there. Yeah, that's a good one.
What you
Why
got?
do you
Yeah, I
think
can try
that
that on
is?
a date.
Why do we think that people are more important in virtual land than the person that's sitting right beside you?
Because they gotta know what's going on in every second, and you
But
know,
there's
it's
a false sense
fast.
of
It's that.
it's not real. That's the
Yes,
problem.
yeah,
People are tapping
crazy.
into a world that's creating. It's a fake world. You
Obviously,
don't even
because
enjoy the
people-
person that's sitting right next
That's
to you.
right, and I think
It's not
that's
real.
the problem where we're talking about the young people that's addicted to social media that's killing themselves.
Right.
It's like, put the dang phone down and get out there and look at real life. You know, get out there, go to the park, do something. You know what I mean? Start interacting with
Work out.
your family.
But think about it. The kids don't even go outside and play anymore.
Right.
The
Because they
younger
might get
kids got
snatched.
iPhones. They stay in the house all day. Social media is telling them who they are.
Well, now, I mean, it's hard to really go outside now because you know, the kids are getting snatched, and it's not like how it used to be when we used to grow up. We used to ride our bikes for miles and miles. Now, like they ride their bike, they might get picked up by a truck or a
But it's
car.
the same thing. If the young girl is in the room talking to a stranger, you don't even know who you're doing. It's talking to on their phone. So
You
there's
right.
just as much
You
of threat
right.
with her in the house,
That's right.
on their phone talking to a complete
Right.
stranger. So we
Yeah.
got to team up.
That's right.
Maybe you on parent duty this time. Get your
Yeah.
behind outside and play. Get your
Yeah.
feet in the dirt.
Right.
We've gotten away from stuff that really
You're right.
matters.
You're right.
Who's that?
What I would kind of suggest is that if you feel like you're in a state of depression about some things, you know, call your friends, call your mom, call your sisters, call your brothers. Sometimes you cannot deal with situations alone. So you need to reach out for help, you know, hang out with your girlfriends, hang out with your family some. This is not a time for you to be alone, because a lot of times when you're alone, you start getting crazy thoughts.
Oh yeah.
So
But
yeah.
isn't that a catch-22 though? Because when people get so depressed, they start to cut people off.
That's true.
They
That's
don't
correct.
answer the phone.
That's
Check
correct.
up on your friends.
They don't
Check up
call
on-
up. They don't call people.
That's
When
true.
the phone rings, they don't answer.
Yeah.
Right, that's
You
true.
know, so it's hard when they've already gone deep.
Gotten already
You
to that
know,
point.
yeah.
I want to
And
do something a little different. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But thank you all for watching. I want to kind of point out some of the people that are on this thread. Barbara, could you please post your wine business here? Post your wine business so other people can see it, okay? Thank you for watching. If
Hey,
you,
Barbara.
anybody on this thread, you have a business that you want to promote right here so we can all start promoting one another. Can you do that? Shana Kennedy, I believe you own your own State Farm.
Go Shayna.
I think you're on here watching. Charlene Nichols is a real estate agent. Charlene, y'all reach out to Charlene. Let's start helping one another and promoting
That's
each
right.
other.
That's
That's what this is all about.
And if you want us to come out and film at your place, give us a call. We'll come out and we'll do a show at your place.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay, so any other comments or suggestions, anything like that about this topic?
Back to Meghan and Harry.
Meghan and Harry, all right,
Okay,
let's get
for
it.
me, that is the biggest eye opener.
Yes.
Because it shows you life is not what you think it is.
That's right.
Enjoy your life, enjoy yourself. To me, we're all royalty. You don't have to live in a palace to define your royalty.
Ooh, I'm
We need to
gonna
understand who we are.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
I'm so thankful that they
Taste
took
of
it
that.
upon themselves to say, hey, this is
That's
not
true.
working for me. And don't let somebody else put their expectations on you. If it doesn't work, turn around and walk away. Depression can be when you stay somewhere too long.
Yeah.
Agree.
When you're already feeling the pressure.
High five to that. Say that again.
You can stay somewhere too long.
When you
Yes.
stay somewhere too long.
Yes, it can lead to depression.
It can lead to
Come
depression.
out of it.
Get out, y'all. Get out.
Get out.
Get out. Wake up. You know that's what's that movie? Get out.
Get out.
Get out. Start a tea up. Get out.
But didn't he say there was no other option? I read that today. He said that there was no other option.
That's a man that
We had
supports
to
his
go.
wife, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
love him. And he's got a cute afro.
He black.
The little, I know, right?
Black afro.
He do got a cute afro, a little red afro. Go Aries.
That speaks volumes on so many levels.
Yes,
From
it
him
does.
sticking by her, getting rid of what do you call that when something just the tradition? What is
Right.
the tradition?
Yes.
The tradition is what you make it. Okay? Stop trying to live up to other people's traditions and expectations. Be real and authentic with you.
Do you?
Yes,
That's what you do.
yes.
All right, okay, so I guess thing on down.
All right, all right.
Thank you all so much again.
Thank you for joining us. This is our first time coming live from our site on Instagram. We're excited to try and see how it turns
She already
out.
closing us down. We didn't introduce ourselves.
Introduce yourself. I am Shalita, and I live in Atlanta. I think I said that before.
Yeah, what do you do, Shalita?
I am, well, by trade, I am a Linux systems engineer.
Engineer.
So that's stuff in IT world, all right? And so, but
Smart
now
gal,
I'm
smart
still in IT, but I'm an HL7 integration specialist, which is in the healthcare market of it all.
All right, we all need healthcare, right?
And my name is Zelda. I'm a master barber, so I can fix your beards, guys. And I'm a master cosmetologist. So holla at me for your beard and mustache needs.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm gonna holler at you and let you give me an edge up too. In the back, because I don't have no edges up here in the front, so we're gonna leave that
That's what I
alone.
do here.
Alright, so my name is Carla. I am a women's collegiate basketball official. I've been doing that for 22 years. And I'm about ready to move on to do something else because these knees hurt, my back hurts, and everything else. Alright, Miss Dawson.
Hi, my name is Ms. Dawson. I am the real estate broker and I'm here from the state of Georgia.
Woo! Alright, y'all want to go ahead and close this, wrap this thing on up?
Yes.
Alright, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We will be coming live again next Monday about this same time at 8 o'clock. But until then, you gonna need a lot more wine.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Lord, there you go.
No, there's always something. So our next subject will be about, is it the trap?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
We'll let y'all know what
We'll
the
let
next
y'all know.
topic is.
Yeah.
Alright. Hey, turn up, DJ. Turn up. Turn up.
We'll let you know.
Turn up.
We'll give y'all a call.
Come on, Leah. Come on.